Well, tonight, Channel 4 News has learnt that a rival lobbyist has made a formal complaint to the industry body. Mark Adams, who also writes the Stand Up for Lobbying blog, said he believed Bell Pottinger may have damaged the reputation of the lobbying profession. And he's here to tell us why. So what have they done wrong then?
Well, I've only read the stories in The Independent like the rest of us, so I have to stress that I don't know if any of those allegations there are true. But if any hint of suspicion falls on any of us in the industry, my personal view, believing as I do in effective self-regulation, is that these matters should be investigated. And clearly the kind of undue influence that they seem to be claiming in their interview with their potential client does concern me.
But lobbyists are paid to influence the government. Tim Collins has cultivated his links to top Tories, and that's why his firm pays him the big bucks. That's what he does.
Lobbyists are paid to advise their clients on how they can present their case most effectively to government, and everyone has a legitimate right to do that, and everyone has a legitimate right, should they choose to do so, to hire someone like me or Bell Pottinger to help them do that. But that's what they should be doing, helping their clients make an effective case, not seeking undue influence based on long-standing personal relationships.
Where do you think influence was unduly exercised?
Well, as I say, in the specific case, I've only read what's in the newspaper. Where suspicion falls on the industry that it arises is where the idea is that because someone has known someone in the political system for some time, that's where the undue influence comes in. I have to say, I have a lot of sympathy with the government. I openly admit that I once worked in Downing Street. I've seen it from the other side, and I think the government are right when they say this kind of behind-the-scenes lobbying just doesn't work. It should be in the open, and that's much more effective.
But you'd work your links with the government.
What I would do is present to my clients the best way that they can make their case to government. Yes, of course I understand how the political system works. Perfectly legitimate that I explain how it works to others. What I don't do, though, and have never done, is try to seek undue influence. And I'm not for a moment saying Bell Pottinger necessarily have, but it certainly should be investigated.
Would you write a speech for the Sri Lankan president?
I think that's, in my book, a rather unusual thing to have done. But I've written speeches for my clients. Of course I have. I suspect all of us who work in lobbying, it's just a branch of the public relations industry, and I suspect all of us have written speeches and articles and presentations for our clients.
And presumably, as you're setting yourself up as the class SWAT, you would back a statutory register of lobbyists, would you?
I believe strongly in regulation of the lobbying profession.
But not necessarily a register.
I think self-regulation should be the way forward. That's why I'm bringing this complaint under the self-regulatory mechanisms that are already there. Some say that self-regulation isn't working. No system of regulation works perfectly. In my view, self-regulation will be much better than the potential disaster for all of us, not just lobbying firms, all of us in this country, if we go down the route of statutory regulation.
Mark Adams, thank you very much for coming in.